Hi everyone, and welcome back to another lesson in information technology. In today's lesson, we're going to be continuing with the series of our Rum and Food Festival SBA videos. Today, I'm going to try to give you an idea of what to do for your event brief. So first thing I have done is I have opened a blank word processing document. And for this document, first of all, I'm going to set my margins, set my line spacing, and set my font size and my font style. Just to be certain that my line spacing is set for the entire document, I'm going to hold on the Ctrl A key to select everything. You will notice that even though there's nothing on the screen, something will be selected. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to the Home tab. In the paragraph group, I'm going to click on the paragraph settings dialog box, and then I'm going to change the line spacing to double, then set the spacing before and after to 0, and this is important for APA style and for formal documents. Then I'm going to check the box that says don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Then I'm going to click OK. So my line spacing is set. I'm now going to set my margins by going to page layout. Then in the page setup group, I'm going to click on margins, and I'm going to set it to normal. Normal gives you 1 inch on all 4 sides. So left, right, top, and bottom. And that is a 1 inch for persons who are using a different version of the Microsoft Word processor. So now that my margins have been set, I'm going to also set my font style, and I'm choosing to use Times New Roman, and the font size is 12. It will be like this for most of the document, except for the cover page where you might want to increase the font size. But for the rest of the document, the body will be font size 12. All right, so we're going to start off with our cover page, and that is going to be on the first page. I'm going to maximize this. So our cover page now, I'm going to put on that cover page a border. I'm going to go to the design. Remember, this is just an example. For those persons who will be submitting the SBA to me, I don't want that the exact thing. I'm just giving you an idea of what you can do so that to speed up the process for you. In the page and background group to your extreme right, we find the page borders. We click on page borders, and I'm going to use a simple border, use a simple line border, double line, and I'm going to leave it on black. And I'm going to put this section first page only. I do not want the border on every page. I only want it on the first page. So I select that and I click OK. And you will notice that I have one page with a border. All right. So I'm going to just insert a page for the table of contents in the meantime. At least I'm going to put in the heading first. I'm going to center my heading, and then I'm going to type Jamaica Rum and Food Festival. I'm also going to put in an image. You must have a logo on your cover page in your document. All right. So I'm going to go to the internet and find a logo and come right back. So I have found my picture, and I'm going to insert that picture. Now, students, you need, as I said earlier, you need to have a logo. The logo is something that you can create. You can get something off the internet, edit it as well. There are different ways you can create the logo. Perhaps in another video, I'll show you how you can use Microsoft Word to create a logo. But this is the logo I am going to be working with. I'm going to just maximize it a bit. Remember, it is not yours, so be careful of how you use the different images that you may get off the internet. I'm going to, at the bottom of this logo, I'm going to type the year, so 2022. Now, I'm going to edit this a bit because in the document that they were given for the SBA, they suggested a date, and I need to look back at that. I'm going to paste the date and edit it. So it says that the dates are from October 10 to November 26, 2022. Going to highlight the text and remove the underline. I'm going to also make these headings a little bigger, probably about font size 18. I'm going to bold them. I'm going to come down a bit, change the font size of this to 18 as well, and bold it also. I'm going to zoom out a little just so that I can see how best to center align the headings as well as the logo. I'm going to format the picture. Double click on it. I'm going to change the picture style, and I'm going to select the one that says reflected rounded rectangle. There are other things you could do. You could choose this one, but this one is not as effective because I do not have any border or anything else around the edges of mine. You could do something like that or like that. It's all up to your preference, but pick something that makes the picture stand out, but don't make it too over the top. All right, so that is the one I like. So when I zoom out, that is my cover page. Simple, clean. I can bring this down a little bit so everything is nice and centered in the middle of the page. And I'm going to keep it like that. I'm also going to set the text wrapping to tight. So I double click on the picture. In the arrange group, I'm going to change the wrap text to tight so that if I need to move it down a bit, I can. If I need to move it later on, I can move it around without any major issues. All right. A good thing to do is to save your document. I'm going to save mine, and I'm going to save it in the SBA folder for One Food Festival, and I'm going to call it Task A. A good thing would be to put an underscore and type your name, and don't type the words your and name, but type your literal name at the end of the file. All right, so there is our document, first page. All right, so now that our first page is finished, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert a page break. Students, please do not use the enter key to create page breaks. If you do so, your document will be messed up when you start to add and delete things. So it's always best to use your page break to insert new pages. You're going to go to the insert tab and page break. On this page, we're going to have our table of contents. I'm going to change the headings font size from 18 to 12, and I'm going to keep the bold. So I'm going to type table of contents. I'm going to zoom in a bit for you to be able to see a little bit better. It's table of contents. Now, students, our table of contents we will not do until the end of the document because I'm going to be using an automatic table of contents. All right, in another video, I will show you how to do that. So right at this point, I'm going to just insert another page break. And this page break now will have your event brief. I'm going to go ahead and type event brief. For the sake of this SBA and the time, I am going to ensure that I can only copy and paste the information because I don't have time to type on the video. It would be very long if I were to type. So I'm going to just make sure that this is in double line spacing, which it already should be. Yes. So I cancel that. Then I'm going to left align my cursor. I'm just going to press enter once more again. And I'm going to left align my cursor by going to the paragraph group and selecting align left. I'm going to go to the background and I'm going to copy. Students, you are not to copy and paste anything. Remember, this is just for the interest of time. You are going to, instead, you're going to read the background, read what the details that are supposed to be there for the event brief. For example, the need for the festival, the goal for the festival, what is the festival all about, what they hope to achieve. But for the sake of time, I'm going to put something on the page so that you can see that it's a summary, it's a short paragraph. I'm going to paste the data that I just copied, right? So I've pasted the data and making some changes to the spelling. We have some spelling errors. So just imagine that this is a summary of what the Rum and Food Festival about. So I'm going to say that again. The event brief is really just a summary giving details about the Rum and Food Festival. It does not need to be anything long. You can keep your paragraphs in block style. It is up to you. I'm going to use block style. So I'm going to highlight everything. And let me use semi-block. That way it's easier. So I'm going to use the tab key to indent the first line of the paragraph. And let us just say that this is my event brief. So that is page 3, right? Now I'm going to put my cursor in the next line, and then I'm going to insert another page break. And this page now will have your, I believe it is going to be, let me just double check on that. This is after the event brief, your parish geographical profile, and then the next page is going to be a schedule of events. All right, so let us go back now, and we're going to put in our parish geographical profiles. So I'm going to center align my heading. I just press the Control and then the E key on my keyboard, and I'm going to type parish geographical profiles. I'm going to say this again for the interest of time. I'm going to be copying and pasting. I have found some really interesting data on the Jamaica Information Service website. So for persons who would like some details about the different parishes in Jamaica, you can go ahead and look at what they have there. Do not use anything that is there verbatim. You can copy and paste and summarize, make it your own. So I'm going to start off by looking at the different parishes that we are going to be using. I'm going to go back to my outline just to look at the parishes. So we have Manchester, Clarendon, Portland. And students, you can use a table for this. You can use bullet points. There's so many ways that you can do this. It is all up to you. So I'm going to start off by putting in Manchester. And then I'm going to go to the GIS website to find details for Manchester. I'm going to use a colon, 2 spaces after the colon, and I'm going to paste what I just copied. Now you'll notice that I'm using Times New Roman, but this has Arial. I'm going to change where it has the options here in the paste, the clipboard. I'm going to select the one that says merge formatting, because it will now merge the text that I just copied with the formatting I have on my current page. And I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take out the colon for the time being, and I'm going to take out the spaces and put the paragraph in a new line. I'm going to press the tab key and I'm going to bold this. And this is going to become important when I'm starting to do the automatic table of contents. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put in the other parishes and then come back with the finished thing. Okay, so I have completed the parish profiles, and I found the task a bit difficult to keep it to one page despite the few lines I placed. But remember, students, this is a brief introduction to the parish. So if it is falling off the page, you can truncate the text or make the text less just so that it fits on the page. If it is impossible, then I don't think we will kill you for going over by a page. Okay, so those are my parishes. So the next page now, I'm going to go into a new line. I'm going to insert a new page. Is going to be the schedule of events. I'm going to center align the heading and type schedule events, and I'm going to bold that heading. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to left align my text. I use a shortcut key Control L, but you could simply do this by clicking on the Home tab, and in the paragraph group, clicking the Align Left icon. The schedule of events will fall into a table, and I'm just going to type a preamble before I put in the table. Please do not type back what I have. This is just an example. You will be penalized if you type back what I have. So I have typed a preamble, introductory statement. Then I'm going to put in a table. Now the table would have certain headings, which I would have shared with you in the previous video. And I'm going to copy those headings so that I can have a look at them. All right, so here are the headings. Now I'm going to now insert a table. So my table will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. And given that we're using 10 parishes plus we need header, we need to have at least 11 rows. We can insert a table by going to the Insert tab in the Tables group. Click on the table icon. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, and then go 11 down. But this is not going to give us 11. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the Insert Table option, put in 5. Well, it has 5 columns already. Number of rows is going to be 11. Then I'm going to select the option that says Auto-fit behavior, auto-fit to contents, which means that the table will adjust to the width of the columns will adjust based on what I type in them. So I'm going to select that. You don't have to use that. You can use the others. It's up to you. I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to put in my heading parishes. Use the tab key to go into the next column, then locations, then events, times, dates. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the first parish. The first parish is, I think it was, let me look up here, Manchester. So I'm going to type Manchester in the parish section. And I'm going to type a location, for example, Williamsfield. And I'm going to put in, let's look at the events. I'm forgetting the events now. Let me see the events. So we have things like point. So for we're gonna have a roast yam and seafood festival. All right, so even though Manchester doesn't have any seafood, we're gonna type roast yam. They do have roast yam and seafood festival. All right, times. And so we're starting at 10 a.m. and the date. Our dates would have been from October. Let me check back on those dates. From October 10 to November 26. Let's just say that Manchester is kicking it off. We're going to check start from October. So the 10th of the 11th, 2022. And that is for one. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to remove this here. And I'm going to bring up the table a bit. So I'm going to bold the headings of the table. At least I'm going to change the table style. So I'm going to, where you have this 4-way arrow here, I'm going to double click on that. Table styles. I'm going to just pick something that works for me. Let me see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. I think that was okay. Nice and simple. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the other parishes and come right back. Okay, so I have completed my table with my different events, parishes, locations, times, and dates. For tables though, you will notice that it's very stretched out. For the table, you can set the line spacing to single. So I'm going to click on the four-way arrow here, and I'm going to go to the paragraph settings, go to home, paragraph settings dialog box. I'm going to set the line spacing to single just for the table, so the table fits nicely on the page. And here we go. There we have the schedule of events. You may want to add a note somewhere down the bottom. It is up to you. I'm not going to add any note for this for the sake of time. I'm going to insert the last page now. And this page is going to have the sponsorship packages. I'm going to bold the heading, and I'm going to bring down my cursor and take off the bold and left align my cursor. I'm also going to indent, and I'm going to type a simple paragraph. I'm going to be using bullets to list these. I'm going to double check the name of the form and fill in that detail below. Also need to double check the tiers of sponsorship. So that's 100,000, 50, and 25. Now, please remember that the values are in USD, so you need to put USD at the beginning of each of these. Now, students, I'm going to remind you again, this is just an example. I do not want but the same thing. You need to ensure that you put your own thing there. All right? You need to be creative. Right? So remember too that on this page you're required to put a footer. So I'm going to put my footer here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to references and I'm going to click on footer. I'm going to copy the footnote from the main document and I'm going to place it on the one that I'm working on now. So there I have pasted it. Now your website name would come here. This is just an example. CFDF 2025 is an example. So I'm going to put jam food and rum .biz, and that will be my website address. And students, as simple as it is, that is your task A. It is a simple document. It's not difficult. So let us just go back over what is supposed to be there. Your cover page, your table of contents, which I will cover in another video, your event brief, your parish geographical profiles, your schedule of events, and the sponsorship packages along with the footnote indicating where you can find the sponsorship expression of interest form. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have found it enlightening, if you feel it is going to help you, I know it will help you. So I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. Like and share the video. Hit the notification bell for the next video.